What's up guys, Dr. Typo here, playing some Grand Theft Auto Online, or at least I'm about to be. Now, if you've logged on to Grand Theft Auto Online lately, at least, in the past couple of days, you've noticed patch 1.12 has launched. In this video right here are the patch notes for 1.12. Now, first and foremost, the patch itself really isn't that big. Only being just 68 megs, not too big. It's less than, even 100 megs, not even close to a gig. But as soon as the patch finishes and you get on Grand Theft Auto Online, the first thing you're going to see is a little message is going to pop up and let you know that you have a new option that you can use. You can call up Lester and make it so the cops will turn a blind eye to any and all crimes that you will commit for a couple of minutes. I think it's actually about 5 minutes if I'm not mistaken. No, it's 3 minutes. My bad. 3 minutes, you get to do anything you want with no repercussions unless, some white knight player or maybe even a black knight player decides to come along and just make sure that you're no longer having a fun time. Oh yeah, and this little bit right here happened when I came out of my garage. Not a clue what this is, but yeah, it happened. Now, like a couple of the recent patches we've got, this one has a lot of different fixes, and a couple of them actually focus on capture jobs, which if you haven't noticed, Capture Creator is now out. You can make your own capture missions, and so that is probably why they went ahead and fixed a lot of the capture issues the game was having. Some people weren't getting paid. If you were on the losing side, you wouldn't get paid, and they added a sudden death and an all, quote-unquote, all points mode. It makes it so all packages need to be collected in a capture job to prevent matches from ending in draws. And they did a lot of stuff with capture, so I'm not gonna say all of the patch notes, but I will give you a brief rundown of all of the top changes that Rockstar has put on their website, and I actually put a link in the description as usual, so if you really want to, you can go over there and you can read all of them yourself. Now, like I said, first and foremost, a new Lester ability has been added. You can now make it so that, no crimes that you commit will be anything. Do whatever you want for a little bit, cops won't get mad, it won't even matter. And they also made it so that players are now awarded more money for completing parachute races, deathmatch, and last team standing jobs with less than 4 players. So if you can't get a game together, then it really doesn't matter. As long as there is, at least one guy in it, you're going to get a little bit more money. And every time that you like or dislike content, you'll receive 50 RP. And that is definitely something that's going to help out people who make the capture jobs or even any of the deathmatch or race. If you use the content creator at all, this is really going to help you out because players are now going to be more inclined to like or dislike whatever you have. And it seems like more often than not, most people just, hit whatever button it is to like it. Not a lot of people really take the time to dislike it, but now you might see a little bit more of people actually taking the time to pick whichever one it is that they really want to, since they're being rewarded with RP, or maybe people will just spam one button or the other. It really doesn't matter, but now everyone is going to get RP just for completing a job and voting. They also made it so personal vehicles that were purchased prior to patch 1.10 were only able to sell them for $10,000. You can now sell them for more. So if you had an adder and you bought it before 1.10, or perhaps some other really expensive supercar that you just no longer want to keep in your garage and you want to sell, you will now actually get the full amount of money that you should have gotten in the first place. So yay for that, I guess. And I actually had quite a few players send me messages on YouTube and even on the Xbox, saying that they were having an issue with this next little bit right here. But they made it so that players who lost the Gusenberg sweeper despite having purchased it during the Valentine's event now have their gun back. And that was definitely a problem. I was not one of the players who was affected by that. However, if I was, I probably would have been, a little upset, perhaps a little bit disappointed for sure, because that was supposed to be, a limited time only thing, and I would have kind of freaked out a little bit, day one before they had announced that they were going to fix it and make it all better for everyone. I would have just been, rant loader deja vu, I guess. They fixed an issue where players were able to use weapons within their apartment and garage to kill other players. I actually had this happen to me one time. Somebody came into my apartment, or maybe I was just teleported into somebody else's apartment. It was one or the other. I'm pretty sure I just got an invite from somebody, and I accepted it, came to their apartment, and they just killed me. And I was like, really? What just happened? That was definitely something that's never happened before. Unfortunately, I have no footage, but I can definitely say that that was a problem, because it has happened to me at least one time. They now made it so that vote screens will now progress when a job has received a majority vote. So you don't have to wait that whole, 30 seconds or a minute, whatever the time is. You don't have to wait for all of that to tick down, even after everybody has already voted. So now as soon as you get a majority, it's just going to go ahead and progress instead of waiting the whole entire time for it to tick down, and you just get to sit there, and you're almost better off really before anyways, just leaving the job and almost finding a new one. It would definitely a better idea, especially if you're doing races or something like that. Unless you were doing a playlist, then obviously that's going to be streamlined and it's no big deal. They fixed an issue where players could be unable to reclaim their personal vehicles from the impound lot after being destroyed. I do not think that I have had any sort of problems with this. If I did, I definitely would have remembered or noticed, and I don't think I did. So if this was a problem, this is one of their top fixes anyways, so I can imagine this had to have been, a big problem for some people, but I had not actually read anything or had heard anything about this being a problem for anyone. They fixed an issue where you might have received long load times after completing a couple jobs or something like that. You might end up having a couple long loading screens just be floating up in the air for a while. I've had that happen to me multiple times, and it's actually been happening to me pretty much since the game has come out. So if they fix that, that's great news, because that was kind of agitating, waiting almost 30 seconds in between completing a job, or even longer. I have the game everyone has the game installed to their hard drive if they're playing it, so there really is just no reason for that, that long load time. If you can connect to the servers, then you should just be connected at all times. So that just seems like, kind of faulty design on Rockstar's part, but I don't really know a whole lot about networking and stuff like that, so perhaps it's faulty thinking on my part. And then, last for their top changes, they fixed an issue where players were able to render themselves and the car they were driving invisible to grief other players. There have been quite a few glitch videos on this. Unfortunately, I did not put one out for you to enjoy, and I personally myself did not get to enjoy this glitch. I've been playing a little bit of Titanfall lately. That game launched, and that's been what I've been a little bit busy with. I do plan to play more and more Grand Theft Auto, though, as time goes on. And especially seeing as they're coming out with more updates for the game, I really just can't. I'm still on the edge of my seat for bigger garages and heists and stuff like that. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Remember, you can click on the link in the description, and you can head over to the Newswire and see all the patch notes yourself. Take two and call me in the morning.